Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the Change Management Simplified podcast. My name is Rachel. For the first time, I'm really introducing myself or saying out my name out loud. And that's because I am in a self reflection mode, but also I am apologetic to my listeners or followers. It has been just over a year, 14 months to be precise, since I last put up an episode. However, I have self reflected. Spotify made me even self reflect because, to my surprise, I discovered that I have mm, more than 1,800 followers on Spotify. Unfortunately, Spotify never shared a dashboard with us, but that made me think about coming back and reviving the episodes. But also, I have been in reflection mode, and I'm using today's topic to apply my lessons learned, but also because these are lessons that only the elite or the wealthy, also most importantly, depending on where you are in your career, if you're in the leadership roles, you definitely get some sort of training on the topic that I'm actually bringing to the table today. And it's all about your mindset. And yes, it is the mirror principle. Not many of you have come across it, but this is something we counter in everyday life when we wake up in the morning, when we go to the bathroom, when we leave, when we're getting ready. This is a topic that's close to my heart, and also because I have learned so much over the last 14 months, and I would like to share this with you. Secondly, some of my clients that I've worked with on this particular topic have had great turnaround, but also created self belief, more confidence, and now they're more conscious about how they apply their mindset to help them succeed or overcome a situation. And this is where we go into the mirror principle. What are we going to cover today? Today we're covering Um, as the title says, the mirror principle, the elite's biggest secret to success. Yes, it is definitely the elite. And if you do research, you will find that it's the most wealthiest people or those in high level positions in leadership roles that actually go for this mindset training. We don't get that, or you don't get that at at the lower levels because it's an expensive training. I'm here to share what I've learned, but also I'll be following up at a later time with a course to go into depth for those who can actually benefit from it, but also who can get some insight and be able to revive their life as well. What are we covering today? We're going to cover the mirror principle. What is it about? Why it matters and how it impacts your life in reality, in real life. Thirdly, we're going to cover also how do you get the mirror principle to reflect your image in terms of what you actually see, not what's in your reflection. And then I've got a message for you to remember to help you remember the principles that I've actually shared with you today. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I don't want to make this video too long. However, an in depth course will be provided, and you can come along and join us in that, and you will learn a lot more. The mirror principle, what is it about? I want you to imagine if you're listening and not, this time I'm actually using some presentation, some slides. So if you do want, you can watch as well on your phone or on your screens, or you can actually listen. So I'll make sure that those who are listening also are able to follow. So what is the mirror principles about? It's basically you standing in front of the mirror. On your left hand side, it's yourself, it's your image, and therefore your mind. It's subtle, it's precise, it's what you see is what is you. Um, but it's driven by your thoughts, it's driven by your feelings, and it's driven by your actions. That's what your mind does. It reflects what you are actually what's inside you, but what you're thinking. And therefore, what you think drives how you feel and drives your actions. And that's why you see that small arrow on those three particular points going from top to bottom, because that's usually the order how our mind works. Now, on the right hand side, when you stand in the mirror or the opposite side, you will see your reflection, the reflection that you see in the mirror. But that's in most cases, actually in all cases, you see your life. Now, you will be thinking about you will be thinking about what you see in your reflection will be your finances, how you're standing in finances, your health, your body, your relationships. But I'm going to start with the body because usually that's by default. And then maybe it could be just me because I'm a woman. But when we look in the mirror, the first thing we think, how do I look? You know, the first, then the second thoughts, oh, do I look fat? Or, what about these? All these, 1, 2, 3 blobs that I've got around my stomach. Oh, maybe my bum looks too big. Maybe it's too small. I do like my bum. Don't have any issues with it, and I do love my body. However, we do have scenarios of us thinking negatively about our bodies, but you'll be surprised that someone else looking at you in the mirror would look at you and say, "Oh, they look absolutely fabulous." They just admire you for how you look like. How, you don't have to change a thing, but when you look in the mirror, you're seeing something completely different. That brings about doubt. You start doubting yourself. You start doubting your appearance. You start doubting your skills, how you look, and therefore your confidence takes a hit. So, from a work perspective as a leader, now this is not purely about leadership, but it's a topic that impacts us at work, but also life. As a leader, when you're trying, or let's say an emerging leader, a manager, wanting to get to leadership position, you've got three other people you're competing with. The first thing, some majority of us will think, oh, I'm not good enough on this and that, I'm not prepared. Nonsense, absolute nonsense. If you know you're good at something, stop doubting yourself. Put yourself out there, do the right things. Ooh, one day I'll bring a topic of how you can actually get promoted. Um, and you'll never know what you'll get out of the experience or this opportunity unless if you take the right steps, unless if you apply. The worst case scenario they can say is no, but it's okay. You learn from the experience, you learn from the interview process, you get to know the insights of what they actually look for in a person, you get feedback. Don't get peed off. That's all right. That's what life is about. It's about knockbacks, but also how you get up makes a difference to your life and to your next steps. So, what is the mirror principle about? The mirror principle is basically the reality in your life. When you look across and you see your reflection, it's your life. What you see will end up being your personality and your real life. So, if you are looking smart in a suit and ready to go to work, but when you look in the mirror, you're seeing someone who's not confident and just putting on a show. Of course, that's how you're going to come across in life. And of course, that's how you're going to behave because you're going to walk into that meeting room and look timid and intimidated already. But those individuals with strong personalities and presence, and yet you're equally as good as them. So, to you, from me, do what is best for you and make sure that you always remember your image and not your reflection. So, and therefore, what you have to do, you have to change your mind to be able to change your life. How do you change your life? Firstly, you need to understand why the mirror principle matters. It's because, as I've explained, it has a real life impact on your actions, your relationships, your career, your well being, your mental well being. So don't ever let your reflection dictate your image. Never, never. Don't allow that. So how do you get the mirror to reflect your image? And I'm going to keep it high level. In the course, we go into a little bit more details. I give you the strategies and the tools. But first and foremost, you need to understand your mindsets. We all have a number of mindsets, typically two big ones. The third one we will discover in about 2 minutes when I'm going through this particular point. What we're going to cover here is one, the three different mindsets, the outcomes, and the trigger points, because it's important that you understand what triggers what mindset and therefore be able to overcome the mindset that actually brings, I guess, the negative thoughts. You want to get those negative thoughts out and get the good thoughts out and make it work for you. The first mindset or subconscious the first mindset that you want to keep an eye on, that's all of us, we have this as human beings. Even animals have got this because God created these with us. This is Firstly, your subconscious mind or your 3D mind. Um, this or mindset, this is your mind, this is your image. Remember the mirror principle. On the left hand side, you have your image and therefore your mind, your emotion. Remember, it's how you feel, how you act, and how you and decisions that you make, your actions. On the right hand side, you had a reflection, you had the life, and that life did, and because of your feelings and your actions, that dictated the decisions that you made in your life on the right hand side around your finances, your work, your relationships, and everything else that comes with life experiences that we have to go through. The conscious mind is inward looking. It focuses on I would say the truth that God created us with. How I like to remember it is via the five senses, taking you back to nursery school, secondary school, where these were ingrained in us and now we take for granted. One is sight, taste, touch, smell, hearing. Basically, what you see is what you see. What you taste, if something is bitter, it is bitter. Nothing is taking you away from that particular taste. What you touch is exactly what you're touching. Are you touching the table? Yes, you're not touching water. You know the difference. Same thing as smell. If you walk into a room and there's a bad smell, it is a bad smell. What you're hearing, is it noise or is it constructive advice? It's up to you to choose what you think. The second mindset is your subconscious mind. This is your life. Again, the right hand side of the mirror. It is outward looking. Again, you looking at the external person. You're looking at the external personality. You're forgetting your five senses from your subconscious mind, in your image that makes you up as a human being, me as Rachel, you know. But these are built up of core beliefs, or core habits that have really dictated your life through experiences over time. So it's about what you're taught, what you watch, what you read, your traditions, your culture, your beliefs, your past experiences. Trauma is a big one in this particular mindset because trauma leaves a lot of archived bad experiences. These bad experiences tend to dictate the decisions that you make going forward. Now, the third conscious mindset is not really a mindset, but this is where everything comes together. It's the quantum field. That is the 5D. Subconscious mind is 3D, and that is your mind, that is your image. 4D is subconscious mind, that is your life, that is coming from your reflection in the mirror. Now, the third one is the 5D quantum field. This is all your possibilities. These are all the outcomes that you could encounter in life all around you. You don't actually have to encounter them, they're there, regardless of the scenario. So it's up to you to decide what you pick from that quantum field. For example, if, for example, there's a change, transformation in your workplace, and they're bringing in a new system or changing processes. Oh, let's not forget, AI is bloody coming into place, right? It's bloody everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's AI at work, at home, on Facebook. Meta has got AI. Even bloody WhatsApp has got AI. They all are being uploaded on our devices, sometimes without our consent. So there is the fear mongering of AI is going to take all our jobs. I will have the topic. I will definitely talk about this at some point in a different episode. But again, there are opportunities here for you that you can seize. If AI is coming into play in workplaces and everything else we're doing, especially workplaces where you need to go and make money, get a salary, be able to maintain your life at home, then start thinking about the opportunities that come along with this. And to me, this is you looking out for new skills. Play with these tools. At the moment, most of them are free. See what you can learn. It's as much as I don't like AI, I actually quite like it at the same time. So I'm learning new skills. Go out and learn new skills. There are now jobs being defined for someone with AI. You're seeing on job specs, you need to have experience with AI. Not a lot of us have got experience with AI. It's like when they're bloody asking you need to have experience with IFRS when we're doing IFRS 17 implementation. We didn't have it. But we went out and actually sought the material and read about it and were able to implement it, for the company to be successful to report under IFRS international reporting standards. So you need to know the trigger points. Now, to summarize, the mirror principle is about three mindsets. Your conscious mind, again, I'm going to repeat, that's your image, that's who you are, that when you wake up, that human being that Rachel is. Your subconscious mind is driven by your reflection, your life, but this is dictated by your conscious mind in terms of how you feel, how you act, and then how you move forward, how you make the decisions. And then the quantum field is there for you to seek all the opportunities. Are you looking for failure, luck, wealth, health, work, stress, happiness? Do you tend to attract toxic partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, or relationships? Sickness. So it depends. What are you looking for? You have to understand that the subconscious mind overworks. It works more than the conscious mind, and it would always try and seek out those habits in your core beliefs, um, that have been repetitive in your life or cause trauma or have got something ingrained negative that reminds you of that particular experience, and therefore makes you resist from seeking out those good opportunities. So you need the conscious mind to try and balance that out with the sensible decisions of, when you see AI opportunities coming up, you don't say, oh, I don't have experience in AI. I want you to go and look for some courses that you can do. You don't even need to go to courses. Go and play with these tools. Use your eyesight to go and seek and find these opportunities. Check them out. Go to networks that, or go to companies that are now doing co-pilot rollout, and go listen to what they're doing. Go listen to their demos. Watch what they're showing. Find opportunities. Now, what am I telling you? My message to you is that you have to change your thoughts, your feelings, your actions to get what you want in life. And that's what the mirror principle is about. What you see in your reflection should not dictate your life. You need to get the right balance between your subconscious mind, which is your reflection, being driven a lot by the reflection, and then bring in the balanced conscious mind, which is your image, that's you, who you see, that people see, not what you see externally in the reflection, but internally. Find yourself. Now, if you want to learn more, I will be doing a course on this, because the individuals have done it for, they have enjoyed the course, they have learned a lot, but it's dictating and playing a big role in how they're now making decisions in their life, how they see life, and how they're moving forward. Remember, you cannot override the subconscious mind through willpower alone. There's work to be done. Now, in the course that we're going to do, we give you those strategies and tools. I am so keen and excited to share more about this topic, because I feel like I've just discovered a gold mine, something that I wasn't quite aware of. Even though I was actually doing it for my clients, it's like I never believed the value that I was giving to those clients. And now I'm applying that to myself, because I've taken time to self reflect and say, actually, this is exactly what I need for myself. The reason why I didn't put up a podcast, over the last 14 months, because I always find a reason not to do it. I was lazy. Um, I always found something else to do. And yet I have so many topics. I've even got recordings ready to publish, but I was that lazy. Now, on that note, I am going to leave you to listen to the Change Management Simplified podcast. And I promise I will be consistent with my delivery of episodes, and I'm not this time going to give up after a year. And for those who've continued to follow me, because I don't know how I've accumulated over 1,800 followers on Spotify, I appreciate you. So I must be doing something. So I will continue to do it. Now, thank you. And I know Apple Podcast as well. The last time I looked, I had over 1,500. Thank you to everyone. Audible doesn't tell me. Some of these podcast platforms don't really tell you much, but thank you. I am going to continue to produce my work, and I am happy to be back. Thank you. If you find this podcast beneficial or interesting, please press follow, like, or subscribe. Lastly, and of course, don't forget to spread the word by sharing. Thank you for listening.